Hey there, welcome back. I was gone for a few hours, so I'm trying to regather my thoughts here as we start turn 4. I think, yeah, we're going to be landing some tanks. And as I explained earlier, they don't use actual LVTs, so our LVTs are going to take a break over there, whatever ones that are still left. But they still have to land, and they still drift and all that stuff. So, for example, we are drifting one to the left with this tank, and then we're going to land, and that's what we want to see. We want to see the 2 pips. That means our tank was undamaged, and it's going to land on the beach. And so it was following this path here, so we're going to go boop, 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 and doom. And so it's on the beach, almost at a perfect spot there. Okay, so it can actually start engaging that other tank, potentially, and then, of course, help those guys as well. So next one, doing these reminds me of the places, right, doing Plinko. You remember the Plinko game? Anyways, I think it would be really cool to have a little Plinko board. And okay, so next one, we're going to drift one to the right. And yes, we land on the beach. So this one is just going to go like so. And then he's on the beach. And we don't even have a concentrated unit situation because the other one's injured. So that was actually really good. And then the next one, no drift. And right there, you can see he took a damage. So we have to flip him over. And he goes in, and then he has to go inland 1, but that's not too much of a problem, except he is in an intense fire zone for purple. And that could mean his doom. So I just want to check real quick. The tanks obviously do what I said, except I want to make sure, are they like headquarters, for example, are immune to going inland? And I just want to make sure that the tanks don't have some kind of goofy rules. Let's see. There's the LV landing. They land like LVTs, but do not transport other units. Yeah, okay. So the only thing special about tanks is if we got a water or a reef result. Water meaning it crashed here on these spots, and a reef result means that you're all the way back here. Either one of those, the tank still makes it to the beach. But the fact that I had an inland 1, he does go inland 1. So, okay, so now we get to go. And this is a beach hex. So I can choose to just turn left and land there. And avoid the concentrated unit because it was just as many spaces. And then my hero, this guy, I get 2 movement, and the only way I can land is to go there, which is good enough for now because now all of these units are going to be going for free. And this guy won't be able to, but it's better than nothing. So we got a good landing there. And then I think the only other person not on the beach is this guy. So we're going to just go 1, 2 like that and keep trying to creep in. I'm trying to avoid the many colors here. I mean, I know those 2 can still kill them, but just trying to reduce it. Okay, so then we do the event. There we go. We finally got a good one. I guess the smoke wasn't so bad. Place a hero marker on any US unit and add a depth marker to 1 Japanese unit. Okay. So per the rules, the depth marker is going to go on whatever's closest to a US unit. And so we have 3 candidates from my calculation. The first one is this guy, because he's 1 step away, or one hex away. The next one is here, same deal, 1 hex away, and the third one is there. So then the tiebreaker is, just use your little cheat sheet here. It says if equidistant, then the coastal position is the next tiebreaker. Then after that, it's the lowest ID number and then the lowest letter. So the letter does not matter at first, so it's just the ID number. So this is clearly a coastal position, so this is one of the priorities, and it's an F1, really low number. This is a coastal position, and it's F6, so that's a higher number. And then this is E2. So all three were coastal, so we tied there, but the winner chicken dinner is going to be lucky number guy here. Okay, I think I forgot to... This Japanese unit is disrupted. And that was because, remember, we attacked it, but we didn't have the MG. I forgot to disrupt him. So that guy should be disrupted. So we won't be attacked by him, but he's now gotten a lot stronger. Okay, so event is over. Oh, no, it's not over. We got to get a hero. So who should we pick? They actually... I guess the other one had names of heroes too. I guess it doesn't matter. They're really hard to read. Rixie or Rixie or whatever his name is. We'll take him, and the thing with a hero is that the unit does get to move and do actions for free. So there's a lot of benefit to that. I think we had this debate in Omaha Beach, but I can give the hero to a tank. There's no reason I can't. And tanks can support attacks, but they can also do the attack. And if you look here, a tank has artillery and bazooka. So it's not real good at doing attacks alone. And it has MG if it's within 4 spaces. So a tank by itself is not necessarily the best in the world. However, it has the wild card, and it would get free actions, which is where the tank, I think, can come in handy. But obviously, maybe having one next to a hero, or I'm sorry, next to an HQ would do the trick. So here's my logic. I think these guys, as long as I keep them near these HQs that I have over here, these are all going to get free actions. So I want to put it over here, and everybody's injured. I mean, even this guy took a hit. So whoever I give it to, it's not very exciting. So I think, who should I give the hero to? And by the way, if you have multiple heroes involved in an attack, you don't get 2 wild cards. There is a limit. So the whole idea of bunching them together so I can just become a powerhouse isn't going to work either. So here's what's funny is I would love to give a hero to the unit that already has a dead hero, because then I would have the MG needed to kill this guy. Although we don't know what the depth marker is going to say. This is an engineer with only 1 strength, and then these 2 are so near dead that it's not even funny. So the only unit worth giving it to is this guy or that tank over there. And I honestly don't know which one to give it to. Clearly, the infantry needs the help, and it would be nice to give them the help, but that guy's like still several turns away from even getting to the beach. I mean, he's just that pathetic. At least the tank is already on the beach. You know, I hate to do it, but I think I'm going to put him on a tank. It gives him a wild card, and it gives him an extra point of strength if he needs it. It's either or. Wild card or the point of strength. The thing that it'll do is if he's going to support an attack action, he gets to do it for free. I think the reason I'm stuck doing this is because... Oh, hold on. I'm not... back off. Back up. I'm realizing something. I think you're probably screaming at my screen too. All of these units are coming out. Let me make sure. Yep. these ones are coming out. So I'm going to be able to put my hero unit on one of these. So for example, this one's coming out in R3. So we have an R3, another R3, another R2, D2, So this is funny. I got all these R3 units. It says I can only stack 2 at a time. So what do I do with this one? Same here with the R2. What? Oh, turn 5. I get another landing spot with turn 5. I see. All right, well then I'll put another one in each of those spots. I'm gonna move the tank with that engineer. Okay, so now what we can do is put our hero on one of these guys, which is full strength. But I don't know what to do. I mean, here's the situation. I don't trust the LVT cards to land these guys without getting injured. And so if I put this guy on one, he could land and be completely destroyed. So there's value in just giving this. Yeah, I'm going back and forth, and I apologize. I'm gonna just put him on this tank and be done with it. So we have a tank hero, a hero tank leader. Okay, so it is now Japanese fire time. I don't know what colors we don't want. It looks like blue would be a bad choice. So let's not get blue. Well, we finally got something we wanted. Okay, so red M. Now these ones do fire because it's a single red. You can see here there's no red for the water. This is a red, but it doesn't hit anybody. I'm just looking. There's a red here, and it does go far, but there's no red there. And no red there. So we're good. We survived red. Now I'm looking at the tanks, and there's no red tanks either. So, okay, that was a little bit lucky on our part. And then here was potentially very, very bad news. We got purple, but look, it's a double purple. This tank would have been destroyed by purple, but that's a single purple, as you can see. So double purple means that he doesn't activate, and there is no double purple anywhere. So that's good. And then we have a double green, and I think that's got the same exact problem. Double green doesn't do diddly. So, nope, I apologize. Double green does go. It's this guy right here. He's double green. So let's look at the green. You can see that's a steady fire, and that's a steady fire. So those are the only two that are hit by green, and you can see this is a triangle. That guy's a circle. And that guy's a circle. So green actually didn't hit anybody, even though they tried. So we got extremely lucky. Oh, the tank does activate. This one. He fires one beyond the green here, which you can see still doesn't hit one of us. So now he's going to try to advance within 4 spaces. And he is going to get a good spot, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4. So he just moved to blue. He's a pain in the butt. Okay, now everything I read in the rule books tells me that tanks are just as easy to fight as anything else. In order to beat this tank, you have to flank him and have bazooka. See how that says that? So obviously I'll have to reveal the bottom too, but I can attack him just like anything else. I can also close combat him, which I think is odd. And tanks, when you close combat them, gets 1 extra card. for being a tank. But beyond that, you can pretty much ice him if you if you somehow did a close combat and won. Okay, so we don't do engineer phase, and now we do our turn. Okay, so these are free actions, all three of them. This is not a free action. These two are free actions. Okay, so we got a lot of free actions over there. This tank is a free action. Everything else is not. This guy is disrupted. We can try to attack him, but I didn't put my leader. If I would have put my hero here, I probably could have gotten a wild card to reveal the depth marker, but I'm not going to get to. So my only choice is to do close combat if I want to try to take them out. And we know how risky that is. This guy is a free action, so it would only be one action for him to join. So let's assume that that's what I'm going to do for one of my actions. And then let's assume this is action 2. And this guy way over here on the left will be my action 3. And so what I'll do is my tank would move in, but my tank can't support him if he attacks. So that's my issue. So I have to really figure out what I'm going to do here if I'm really going to take an action with him. And if I do take an action, I think because he's only 3 strength, although I've been only drawing like 1s. So if you look here at the terrain type, it's just palm trees. So that means he doesn't get to double his defense against me. Do I risk it? If I knew the tiles a little bit better, I could tell you, hey, we've been getting lucky by only drawing 1s, and now, you know, there's a potential I can draw a 3 or a 4, and therefore this is the stupidest move to ever do. But the other thing I could do is close combat, which I'm also not thrilled with, but I'm going to go ahead and try. We'll attack him, and I might get disrupted. Hey, there we go. Look, we got a 1, and it's a Browning requirement, and look, we got a Browning. Shashing. I can't believe we pulled that off. All right, so we actually won that one. Okay, so if you're new to the game, obviously if you match the weapon requirement and you have double his strength, it's an automatic chicken dinner. With him having only a strength of 1, it's not doubled because of the terrain he's in. This terrain only stops people who are attacking from range, which would be like the tank. It would cut their strength in half. And this guy only has 3 strength, but that's more than double of the 1. So far, these coastal guys have been pretty wimpy. They only have like 1, but these little weapon requirements can be problematic. And that's why sometimes we can't beat them. But this case, we actually matched it perfectly. Now, let's say the weapon requirement wasn't a match, then we would have probably just disrupted him. And here, we can show you exactly how that plays out. See, when he doesn't match, you do the top part. This is the weapon requirements. So if you don't match and you have double the strength, he's disrupted. He's not destroyed. And disrupted is the best outcome you can get when your weapons don't match. When the weapons do match and you have double strength, he's defeated. We would have defeated him even if we didn't have double strength because he did not have a depth marker. That's what it means by Japanese unit alone. Then with the depth marker, if we were greater or double and it matched, then we get to reveal the depth marker. So those depth markers stay secret until you meet the weapon requirement of the top one. And then after that, if you're still greater than or double, then you can destroy it. And there's even, in turns 11 to 30, you destroy the depth marker and the top marker together if you can match the weapon requirements. Pretty interesting. But we just took out Brown, which was, Browntown is a major pain in the butt because look, Brown is 1/2 of this. And blue is this guy and that guy. So these two blues are also getting whittled down. I would argue that this blue here is only shooting this direction and not this one, but I don't know. Blues are weird. This game is weird. It shows a blue square, but it doesn't say which of these blue are the source of the square. And if somebody knows, please let me know. I think I'm supposed to assume that both of these blues are, even though they don't have a line between them connecting them. It's a little dicey. But anyways, that was well done. And I'm quite pleased with that. So we're starting to clear at least this part of the beach. And if we could somehow knock this whole, they call it the bird's beak. I don't know, I wouldn't call it a bird's beak. This looks like a sea lion, or a seahorse. I mean, look at it. Isn't that a seahorse? And then its tail, you could just see it curled up in the back, and then the little seahorse face up at the top. That's what it looks like, more than a bird's beak. But anyways, this is the beak. And if we can clear this out, we'll take out a few artillery and then the heavy artillery. And more important, I think this is where the F zone is. I don't know. It's a tall order. We're not out of the woods yet. And here's what's going to determine it for us. We're going to do stupid close combat again here. This guy is disrupted, which helps, because that means that he doesn't get to go first. But we're going to do close combat and all the crazy zaniness that goes with it. Okay, so we have an inspired unit. Let's use the close combat procedure. And we're going to draw cards. For the US unit, we're going to draw one for each step. So let's look at this. That's 3 steps. And that is, sorry, my eyes are really bad tonight. 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's 5 cards for blue. I'm sorry, for US, blue is the color. And then 1 card if any US hero is present. We don't have a hero, we have a dead hero. So I'm assuming that means we don't count it. And then the Japanese get 1 for the depth marker and 1 for the unit. So we have 2 for them. And then they're not attacking. We have to reveal what they are. So the cool thing about this is we do get to see what the requirements are. So this one needed artillery. There was no way in hell we were going to do either of those. The MG we were going to get, but the artillery, you know, that tank is the only closest thing we have to artillery. Okay, so we did 2. Then if their strength is greater than 4, they get another one. Their strength, as you can see, is 2. So let me zoom in on them. You can see that it's 2. And then it says 1 card for every CC requirement. There is no CC written on the units. You would see the CC here, along with the MG and the artillery there. 1 card if the Japanese unit is a tank or it's knight. There's only 1 knight turn in the entire game. That's turn 16. So no worries there. So we already have more cards than the Japanese. We'll give it that much. So then it says Japanese go first, and they're disrupted. So all that happens is they just lose their disruption token, and they lose their turn. So then we get to go. And remember, we need a blue. So let's draw. There's no event, and sure enough, there's a blue. Chicken dinner. Okay, so let's read it carefully. If a card shows a close combat event, implement the event. No event. If the card shows the position color, it did. Eliminate the depth marker and discard a card from the Japanese pile. If no depth marker was present, then eliminate the Japanese unit. So the depth marker is gone. And by the way, these depth markers, when you destroy them, they're out of the game permanently. They never come back. So that's awesomeness number 1. And this one here was a very difficult one. So this close combat, as much as I don't care for it, only because like I said, because I lose, I'm winning this time. So now I'm telling you how awesome it is. So anyways, we do get to discard their card, and I'm curious. I just want to see what it would have been, and that would have been a miss for them. So that didn't do us much, but we did get them. And so now they get to go. They have 1 card left, and of course it's the damn blue one. So they hit us now. So we have to take a hit. And I'm going to choose to take a hit with this guy and keep my inspired unit as strong as possible. And we get to keep going now. Oh, actually, we lose a card. So let's see what we lost a good one. So that stinks. And now we get to keep going. And even though they don't have any cards, we get to keep going. So There's a blue right there. But see this? Reinforce? That's a event, and that's not a good one for us. The reinforce event is they get a card to the Japanese card pile, and if the participating unit has no depth marker, they get one. Now, here's what's crazy. They're going to get a depth marker, which is this one, and it's another artillery, right? They get one, and then they get a card. However, we just got a hit. So guess what? This gets destroyed. So we just got rid of another depth marker for free, basically. And when we destroy one, we destroy their card, which would have been a hit. So we're back to square one. Now it's their turn. They have no cards left. So we get to keep going. And that's a miss. But see this? This is a withdrawal hit. That's a hit only if we were withdrawing. That means we would have taken a hit. We're not withdrawing. We're Marines. So less card. Let's hope we get a blue. And we did not. There's not a single blue in there. So we ran out of cards. And so this is called an exhaustion ending. So both card piles were empty. So all units get disrupted. So we're going to disrupt our 2 units. And his unit gets disrupted as well. That was a lot of work. But we did get rid of 2 depth markers, I guess. Attacking Japanese units that came from the reserve box return there. Yep. Yeah. So it ended. And everybody's just disrupted. We didn't make any progress. We did take 1 hit. Was it worth it? I don't know. We got rid of 2 depth markers. That's pretty awesome in my book. I probably would have done an optional attrition just to get rid of one of those if I was ever given that opportunity. So yeah, it was worth it. Okay, so now we got this mess. And I haven't thought through what I want to do. Obviously, everybody has an action. Everybody you see here has an action. I spent an action on the one spot that needed to spend. Everybody else gets one from the hero. So everybody gets to do something, but now what do they get to do? This tank requires a bazooka, which we have from this tank. That's not a problem. It needs to be flanked, though. And flank is defined that it has to be attacked by 2 people who are adjacent to it. So attacking from here and there is not considered 2 people in this situation. And those 2 people cannot be adjacent to each other. So in other words, I would need a unit there. So we're both attacking it, and there's a gap in between these 2 attackers. If he was here, that's not flanking. Sorry if I'm blocking the view with my hand. That means he's flanking. So, so the best I can do is disrupt him, which is not the worst thing in the world. Disrupting means we had double his strength, and so we couldn't match his weapon requirements, but we were at least able to get double his strength and can disrupt him. The hero is a wild card, meaning that we get to satisfy any weapon requirement we don't satisfy. However, there's 2 times the wild card does not work. The first one is when it's a CC for close combat, and the second one is when it's the flank, which is what this is. So our hero cannot overcome the flank requirement. We have to physically flank this particular tank. So that part sucks. Now here you can see we have a very weak unit, but he has a tank with him, so we could take this on with them. This unit is pretty strong at 8, and I think he by himself could take on the tank and double it and at least disrupt the tank, so that way the tank doesn't attack us next turn. And you can look here, it's got a little circle, so that means this is a 6 strength tank. But I have an 8 strength here, so I can double it. The other thing I can do is I can use this guy since he has a range of 3, and all 3 of these can attack this thing. I think that's overkill. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move the hero to here. which is end of turn. The rules have some quirky rule in it about if you move your HQ, then it no longer gives free bonuses, movement bonuses anymore, which is the stupidest thing, because all I have to do is just wait until the end of the turn to move the hero, or the HQ. And so just trust me that that's what we're doing in this situation. This guy's going to attack the tank alone. And here's how that plays out. So do we have the required weapons? No. Do we have the strength compared to them? We have 8, they have 6. So we're greater but not double. He has... Oh, I need to be... Yeah, let me play this out a little bit better. That doesn't work. You have to be double him. So the question becomes, is this that crater thing we were talking about? Is that the crater circle? I think it is. It's so hard to tell. The whole artwork in this game sucks. I think it is, because see, it's got this like circle looking thing. So that means this is a strength 6 tank. So let me rethink this. I can have this tank join him, and then that's 12 versus 6. So yes, I will do that. So here's 8 plus 4 is 12 against him, who is 6. So now if we follow this, the attack strength is doubled and he's disrupted. It's very important that we disrupt this guy, because the tank we don't want attacking us if we draw a blue next turn. So then what that means is that this guy with a 3 would be attacking that alone. And I think I'm going to have to be okay with that. This hero would move over. So let's resolve this. So we got the 1, which we've been expecting from these coastal units. They haven't been very strong so far. So that 3 is double the 1. He needs an MG and a radio. He has the radio because even though you don't see the radio on the tile, the HQ provides a radio because he's in range of the HQ. But he doesn't have the machine gun. Ironically, the machine gun is on the tank. So if the tank were involved in the attack, he would be destroyed. But right now, the best we can do is disrupt him. But this is still good news, because that means when we draw blue next time, these blues will not attack us. So it's still a good outcome. Okay, so now we get to here, and we got all kinds of craziness. Like, for example, this guy can help all of these guys attack here. And if this is a flanking requirement, that would actually be helpful. So I'm going to go ahead and try it. Because remember, this hero, or this HQ, is going to move here. So they'll all have a free move next time. So I'm going to try it. So this guy is attacking there. This guy here is attacking there. This tank is supporting, and he's doing a range. So this is a building, which means the building means the unit strength is doubled, but the depth is not. So let's reveal the top. And you can see we got an MG with a strength of 0. Holy cow, is he weak. Okay, well, the good news is the MG is provided by this guy and that guy. So, and we have a hero, but we don't even need to use that. So we got double 0. So that's easy. Then we reveal this, and look at that. That needs a flank. Yes. Why is that a yes? Why are we so happy? Because this guy satisfies the flank. We have 2 people attacking, and they're not adjacent to each other. So I'll go through the chart one more time, and then from here on out, you might see me just tell you the result. But see, we meet the weapons requirements. And with that having a 1 and this being a 0, we definitely double their attack strength. They have a unrevealed depth marker. So then it says reveal it. So that's what we did. We revealed the depth marker. So then it says check again. Well, after we revealed it, we still had the weapons. We still had double the strength. So now we go to this column where it's a Japanese unit plus a revealed depth marker. We're on turns 1 through 10, and we're double. So the depth marker is eliminated, and the unit is disrupted. So that's how this resolves. So this gets destroyed. So that's depth marker number 3 gone. And then the unit that's left stays there, but he's disrupted now. So he can't harm us. The one mistake I made in this, I'm just realizing it now, and I probably would have done something. I mean, I met all the requirements to defeat this thing. I need to get this tank out of here because that is a intense fire. So if you'll forgive me, I know we revealed this and we know what it was, but I would have for sure moved this tank out of the way. And where I would have moved it to is I would have moved it here because that's not a concentrated unit. And so now he's with the HQ like so. So he would not have been involved in the attack. The outcome would have been exactly the same. Please forgive me. That was definitely a change of mind after already knowing some hidden information. But it's only because I was being careless and forgot about that intense fire. Definitely would have moved. We got lucky last time. We drew a purple, but it was a double purple. And that would have destroyed the tank. So I don't like that. Let's not destroy the tanks. And so I say thanks for letting me do that and forgiving me. So we are at the end of the turn. Now we move on to turn 5. And this is when we reveal another one of those Japanese actions. We've currently had the P action revealed, and they haven't. We haven't drawn a card that had the P action on it yet. So I think we got really lucky with that. But our luck might start to run out because some of those other actions we've been drawing a whole bunch of, and they're going to be on here. So let's see what comes up next. So turn 5. The Japanese got a little bit better, and now they get to do the A action. The A action being... So the P action here, you can see, is patrol, and then A is assault. And it looks like this is close combat nonsense. So they're going to start charging us with their samurai swords. Okay, well then, it is what it is. Okay, so now we got to do the beach landings. And I have to assign my LVTs if I'm going to. And I'm going to do something really crazy. I'm not using LVTs. They're all going to walk. Maybe it's stupid of me to do. I don't know. But they're all going to walk. I just don't trust the LVT cards. I have full strength units here, and I think they're going to land just fine if I put them all in the water. And even if they do shoot at my units, there's only going to be one unit they shoot at a time. Is that smart? I have no idea if it's smart. But it's what I'm going to do. And the other thing is if you look at this, these are 2 4-strength units. I don't have a 2-strength LVT anymore. I only have a 1-strength LVT. And so if I have a 1-strength LVT, it can only transport 1 unit with 2 steps. So if I want to transport 1 unit with 4 steps, I need 2 1-strength LVTs. Well, if I want to transport this stack of 2 4-strength units, I would need 4 1-strength LVTs. I mean, that's almost my entire stack of LVTs. So these units are going to be walking anyways. Let's be honest here. They're not going to land on the beach and do much. They're already going to be walking. Now the tanks do draw cards, so we are drawing for the tanks. And I could theoretically try to land some of these. Part of me feels that this beach is clogged, so this area I'm not going to try to land because I don't want to get concentrated units. If there was anybody I was going to try to land, it'd be these guys, but they're going to be all by themselves with that nonsense over there. And they're going to land in some intense fire zones. But I can tell you, if they walk, they're also in trouble. But if they do walk, I can sort of walk them this way. I don't have to go that way. And that's part of the coolness about it. Yeah, I'm going to just save my LVTs. So everybody's walking. Let's do it. All right, this guy over here is in a zone that nobody can even, well, no, there's a blue left. I'm sorry. So he's gonna go 1, 2. And he's almost home. Okay, then we go here and I will draw for the tank. So the tank has no drift. And the tank makes it to the beach with full strength. So very good there. This tank is on shore. And this guy, 1, 2. 1, 2. You know what? This one's going to go 1, 2 that way. Why not? 1, 2. Oh, I don't want to make a concentrated unit. So 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. And I can't go sideways. So I will make a concentrated unit with him. So I guess we make a concentrated unit there. That's red and green. Green is destroyed. Only red's the issue. Okay, here. 1, 2, and then 1, 2. So I can get them next to each other. The tank. Drift 1 left. So he's here. And then he makes it on the beach full strength. And remember, you can have a stack of 3, just not at the end of your turn. So we could have this stack of 3 for the entire round, and it's not until the very end when it's my turn that I have to be back to a stack of 2. But like we just said, he lands on the beach right here, and he's fine. Okay, so 1, 2, and 1, 2, and 1, 2, and 1, 2. So it seems so silly, but I think that's what I'm gonna do. Okay, all right. That is the landings. Now we're gonna draw an event card, and we are on turn 5, and I like it. Place a hero marker on any US unit and add a depth marker to 1 Japanese. So the depth marker, of course, not very fun. We get 2 choices. We have we actually only have 1 choice. The depth marker is for sure going here. He's the only one next to a US unit right now. All right, so this guy is a coastal. So we got to grab a coastal depth marker. And there he goes. Okay, so we get another hero. And by the way, the game says that the heroes are limited and you can't get any more once you got these. So there was something about if you get a hero, you can choose to take something else instead. I can't remember what it was, but there is a rule for if there's no heroes left, you get something else as compensation, but it wasn't quite as glorious. So where do I want to put it is the question. We already put this last one on a tank. I think I want to put it on one of my full strength guys, but I would prefer it not be the one that's wading through the water. Do I really put it on another tank? So that way this one's moving around and doing stuff for us. It just seems like these heroes were meant to be on infantry units. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put the hero on this guy. So that way when he does get to shore, we got something for sure. There. Yes, I'm here all night. Okay, so we will do that. That was our event. I probably do need to put some more heroes on this other side, but because I have those 2 HQ units, I feel like I need to balance it out for now. All right, Japanese fire phase. What don't I want? I don't want red or blue, I think, are the 2 colors that seem to be nasty. But we did get red, and that's not good. But let's start with double gold, which I think is nobody. Well, we have a tank. So we have a tank on brown, blue, and double gold. So this tank here is going to hit nobody, but then he's going to move closer to a US unit by going there. So that tank, by the way, just needs artillery to take out, and I have a feeling we can do that. Next is the single red, and that's what's going to kill us. He's definitely going to get some damage in, let's put it that way. Where, do you ask, am I going to get the damage? And it's going to be here. There's a red unit here, and he can hit this water out here, and you can see there's red everywhere. And so it's a circle. So if you look through, here's a circle, there's a circle, and there's a circle, and this is a concentrated unit, so he takes the hit. But the good news is there's only 1 red marker here, and so we only take 1 red damage. There are reds everywhere else, but there's no Americans in their zone, so we're okay. So here's what's funny about this game. I was very frustrated, and you probably caught that because my units were just getting clobbered in the first couple rounds. But I do confess that the game is balanced in a way that these coastal guys have not, they've been pretty easy to kill, other than maybe the close combat ones. So the coastal guys are very wimpy, and at this stage, by turn 5 in the German game, you have depth markers almost everywhere, and those nests are taking, you know, many turns to kill. You know, sometimes 10 turns or more just to get off the beach. I'm not saying I'm off the beach. I mean, look, I'm still just sitting on the beach. But if you can make it and land, you have a fighting chance at beating some of this stuff. I mean, these tanks are a little tough. Their depth markers are tough. Don't get me wrong. When they get a depth marker, they are tough. But they, you know, even in this case, I'm dead to rights. Look at how many units I have in red. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units in red that could all take hits, and I'm only taking 1 because that's all they have is just 1 unit to shoot at us. So, anyways, I think you got my point. But the last one is brown, and this one is going to cause some ruckus, largely because this is a brown spot, and brown is, where is brown? Brown's destroyed. Yes! So we're not being attacked over there. There is a brown here, but that brown goes that way. I am not convinced that brown way over there is shooting all the way down here. So, not happening. So what else is brown? This tank is brown, and tanks always do something. And this one is going to do an action. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the closer unit, and he can only move 4 spaces. So 1, 2, 3, 4 is not enough, and that requires him to move 5. So he can't even move closer. So that's his problem. He is in brown, but brown does not shoot this far. He only shoots to here, and then he gets to shoot 1 more. This brown shoots to here, you know, so he's not hitting anything, is what I'm trying to say. So nothing happens there. However, this one is brown, and that's not brown. No one's in brown fire zone, so we got really lucky. We got to back up. See this little P here? The P actions happen for the Japanese. So, but it's only for double gold. and there's no double gold. So that's why we got lucky. Now that tank was double gold, but he wouldn't have patrolled. At least I don't think he would have. Let's take a quick look. Yeah, the armor unit would advance and fire. Advance if able. Then if the US unit's in field of fire, fire. So that's for a P. So this tank, if you remember, was here. And he has a depth marker. So when you see the double, that's for with a depth marker. So that tank is going to do the P action, and it said it's going to do advance and fire. So it advanced, and you can see that for purple goes, this is in the fire zone, and he's attacking circle. And sure enough, that's getting hit. So this unit is F28 is going off to the deep end. All right, so he got a hit there. And then he can hit one more space beyond his normal range. And so what he was able to do is he was able to hit that space. So he can hit here, that's his own unit, and everything else is out of his range. So he was only able to hit one unit. Anyways, that's where the P action burned us. And why did we do that? Because the Japanese P action is available now. And so is A. So we have to be mindful when those come up. Normally tanks fire or move, but in the P situation, the tank fires and moves. So that's a special, actually he moves first and then fires. So that tank was extra ornery towards us. Okay, they're done. Now we get to go. And the Japanese units stay disrupted until their color comes up. But these units can remove their disruption. But that's their whole turn. They can't do anything else. This guy is on the verge of being annihilated. As soon as I get this MG in range, which I will next turn, see he has an MG here. He'll get to here, but it's not quite enough to attack yet. It would have been had he not been damaged. But anyways, this guy even meets the weapon requirements to defeat that. All right. So I have a hero unit here on this tank. So we can move or do something with it. I don't know what to do. So let me think. The other thing to understand is we can move up to 2 hexes. This is not just a move 1 hex game. Everybody can move 2 hexes. Tanks can. Artillery is the only thing that can move 1 hex. The only stipulation is you must stop upon entering an intense field of fire. Not a steady field of fire, just an intense field of fire. And we could do a barrage, which I did a lot in Omaha Beach. I'm not as eager to do barrage with this. Barrage is interesting. You can only barrage coastal if it's not revealed. So for example, this is an inland unit that's not revealed, and you're not allowed to barrage it until you go and reveal it. So you have to be careful there. If we move these units, it is possible Japanese will reinforce these units, or those empty spots. So you got that weirdness too. You can't just abandon the beach, because they can just come and repopulate it. So this is just a tank and a regular hero or engineer. So this engineer, I'm okay with leaving him there. Now, he's a single-step engineer, which means that he only controls his space. And this is a 2-step, which I think controls all the spaces around. But when you're a single-step, you don't. So there is like a weirdness there about how much control you have. It's based on the strength of your unit. So we know for sure we can't do anything in this corner. It's the question of how am I going to move these to support all of this. And do I move this tank this way or do I move him that way? That's the hard question. I think I'm going to move the tank this way. I get to move him 2 spaces. This is an intense field of fire for brown and green, but we don't have brown and green. But we do have this orange here, and that's an intense field of fire for orange, and so is that. So I have to be really careful with those. I can try to go up after this orange up here, and the problem with that is those are intense field of fire. Like, I don't want to be in an intense field of fire, because if you're in intense, then the tank takes a hit, even though tanks are usually immune to hits. Usually. I can go after this purple guy, but that's going the other direction. So I think what I'm going to do it's like I'm trying to look at the situation and see where can I go that I'm not in like there's an intense zone here, intense there. Like, it's really hard to find a pathway, and it makes sense. I mean, the enemy's not going to just, put up neon lights and say, hey, here's your path where we have a blind spot that we can't see. So this here is not an intense orange. If I move 2 spaces, I will be in an intense orange there. But if I move just 1 space, I can move 2, well, no, I can only move 1 space next time, because the intense orange will get me. All right, I'm going to move 2 spaces to here, and I'll stop. And so far, this is all free actions. Going over to here, I have a lot of free actions. We determined that this tank needed to attack that, but now I have another tank here, so I'm okay. I can even attack this again if I wanted to. And look at this, I'm now flanking. Oh, shoot, daddy. We are doing that. There's 1 action. So this guy's going to attack there, and this guy's going to attack there with him. Easy peasy lemon squeezy there. This one, those 2, the tank and the unit below it, will attack that one, which we know will destroy it. And then over here, we have a disrupted unit that I think is super easy to kill. So those are all free actions. So what I think I'm going to do is this guy has an MG, so I will attack with just this guy alone and destroy that one. And now I'm actually considering taking out this tank, but there's some pretty intense fields of fire there. Yeah, it can get pretty crazy. So, what should I do? I can barrage with this tank and try to disrupt him, or even this red one, because these are intense red fields of fire. I can barrage with this tank here and try to disrupt one of them, and then I have a unit that's almost dead. So it's not like I'm super strong going up against that tank. But this is an artillery here. I don't think I can attack a tank from 2 spaces away. I think I always have to be next to that tank to attack it. See, and then I can move 2 spaces, right? But here's an intense field, and there's so I can't move and then move, right? And get next to it. All right, so I need to look up the attack rule. I know you have to have somebody next to the unit you're attacking. An attack must include at least 1 infantry or engineer unit attacking a Japanese-occupied hex from an adjacent hex. So tank units cannot be the only attacking unit. And the reason I was asking is I could easily have done a move like this and been right next to him. But I actually have to move an infantry next to that guy if I want to take him out. This guy at a range 2 is too far away. So I'm going to have to risk a lot of guys to take out that tank. I don't know how excited I am about that prospect. Okay, let's look at the barrage chart. My strength 2 tank, it has to match just the color only if there's no depth marker. So I can disrupt something as long as it doesn't have a depth marker if I match the color. If it's a strength 4 tank, I can do it with even just a symbol. I don't even need to have the color. So that's my situation. And then obviously if it has a depth marker, a strength 2 tank has to match both the symbol and the color. And then the strength 4 tank just needs to match the color. And if it has a depth marker, that's good enough. It doesn't even need to match the symbol. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to crack this code of these guys right here. I'm trying to bust through them, and they have quite a formidable wall. I think I'm going to have to sustain losses. So first, let's do this. This tank is going to attack, and this infantry will attack. Those are all free actions. Well, this one cost an action. Okay, this disrupted unit is flanked, and it has a bazooka. The bazooka comes from both of these sources. We have 12 strength. This is 6 strength. We are double. So that means we reveal the armor depth. And this says it needs naval artillery. Oh no! So this is 6, 7, 8 strength, and we have 12. We're not quite double. So we're greater but not double, and there's no effect. We don't even disrupt him. So we need naval artillery, which means we need a hero. That's what it means. But he's already disrupted from a previous attack, but we now know what it requires to defeat him. So that's done. Moving over to here, this guy needed the MG and a radio. And the hero, if this HQ would have stayed here, we would have gotten it. But the hero is over here, so unfortunately, the MG came from the tank, the radio came from the HQ, so this unit is destroyed. So that part's simple enough. We got that. And then this guy is good as dead from this one. So we eliminated that. So now it's just, what do we do about these other pesky spots? I get one more action. That action will go to this tank. That's not an issue. I think I want to disrupt stuff. So let's start with that strength 2 tank that you see right here. And I'm seeing these intense red and purple zones, and that's what's bothering me. So let's try to disrupt this red guy right there. So I need a red, and I got it. There's a red. Ding, ding, ding. Okay, so a strength 2 tank that matches the color disrupts a unit as long as it has no depth marker, and that's exactly what happened. So this red is no longer intense for us. Now the purple is going to be intense because there's 2 guys here shooting at purple, so I'm not going to get that lucky, but I could at least disrupt one of them. So now the question becomes, which one? And I think I want to disrupt the tank. So this tank is going to try to disrupt that tank with a barrage. And I only have to match the color because I'm a strength 4 tank. So it's purple, and I don't get purple. I don't even get the symbol. So that was a miserable failure. So we don't have it. Now I have to take the risk. Am I going to move into intense fire purple? And if I do, this tank alone, because he has a depth marker, can hit 2 units. So if I move in here, I can be obliterated in by both spots. That's the risky thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this one 2 spaces like this, so he's not in the intense field. The HQ unit is going to move there, so that way he's going to give him a free move, and then this one. And the tank, of course, can't move because the tank did a barrage, and I will move this one up. He could get bashed in the face, and if he does, I won't be able to attack that tank, at least not next turn. Everybody else is stuck. They can't move. They've already done actions. Okay, sorry for the really long turn there. But this game does get intense pretty quick. So we're moving to turn 6. I'm in an hour. I'll see you in a few seconds. Stay awesome.